Hello and welcome back, and let's talk about Suicide Squad: The Justice League. I don't know if you guys know, but a couple of days ago, IGN had the opportunity, amongst other outlets and whatnot, they had the opportunity to go and play Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League. Now, the reviews are out. It's not looking good, so we're gonna go through the IGN review on the website. I'm gonna link it in the comment section down below. And we're just gonna go over what they have to say. So the best part of Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League after playing it for a few hours in the story, and yes, it certainly seems like you will be killing characters you know and love. Lots of death happening. That's also a big part of the problem I have with the entire premise. I can't help but shake that there's no way Rocksteady is going to let this stick. Our heroes have done terrible things. There will be a time reversal mechanic or some alternate Earth timeline that comes along and washes away all of the terrible awfulness that happened during the story. Already there, they're saying that the story is the best part of the game. However, they're also mentioning how what's happening is so intense, like he doesn't believe that Rocksteady is actually going to stick to this and it's going to be a big time reversal or something like that. I believe that the characters that are going to die, I don't think all of them are going to stay dead. I think some of them might. I think some of them we might not even eliminate. It sucks to say, but there's too much money in keeping all those characters dead. You could have some of the Justice League members or other villains come in later as paid DLC or free DLC, but you know, it is a live service game, so take it with a grain of salt. You go on to say some of the awful things you do is like you enslave a child, you straight up just watch your heroes decimate other people's, and it's not really fantastic. There's this weird disconnect that comes from that, and then you loop it in with that Destiny, Anthem, Marvel's Avengers gameplay. It kind of just left them feeling not super confident about the final product. I've played Destiny, I've played Marvel's Avengers, and I've played Anthem. And I can say Destiny was pretty good. Anthem, I wanted to be good for so long. I wanted Anthem to be great, and it fell flat. It didn't bear any fruit. And we're already bringing Anthem up, and it's the first paragraph of the review. You don't want to be compared to Anthem. Nobody wants to be compared to Anthem. So just with that, I'm really not feeling great about it. I wanted to buy it and then review it for the channel. However, now I'm not feeling so great, and I think I'm gonna have to pass up on this one. He ends off by telling you guys to subscribe to the channel and to make sure to like so we can spread the message to more people on the internet. But for real, he says that the fun just isn't there for him. And at least not yet. Story has its fun moments, yes, and the team banter, at least during cutscenes, is when Kill the Justice League is at its best. The cutscenes have clearly been given a lot of love. Meanwhile, character models look great, the voice acting is on point, and there's a lot of moments where I genuinely laugh thinking that this could be enough to carry me through the messy and tired open world mission. Take note that he says, the team banter, at least during cutscenes, which means that there's probably a lot of team banter in the game while you're playing. Personally, I love it when my character banters with other teammates, but there's a limit. There's so much banter I can take before it gets annoying. The fact that he's highlighting this leads me to believe that it's just way too much bantering all over the place. While they could reverse time to fix the morality issue at play, chances are that they will be difficult given the planned expansions, story additions, and gear chase coming later on its form of free updates. That means we'll be stuck with the terrible things that transpired, and if the name sticks, stuck with a dead Justice League. Positive thing is that it's going to be free update. I don't really understand why they would kill a bunch of characters in their universe, because it's a shared universe, right? The whole Arkhamverse. Kill the Justice League is part of the Arkhamverse, if that's correct. Why would you kill off a bunch of potential video game characters later on in that Arkhamverse? It makes no sense. The reviewer goes on to say that a live service game from Rocksteady is not what he had on his Christmas list this year. And I agree. I would have loved another Arkham game. Not even Arkham. Give me Nightwing, give me Robin, give me Superman, give me any hero from the DCverse, and give me a Rocksteady, single-player, story-driven, professional game. Don't give me this live service stuff. From what I've seen in the videos and by reading a couple of articles online, it seems to me like Rocksteady wanted to make a game, and Warner Brothers wanted to make a live service game. Unfortunately, Warner Brothers got its way, and now we're getting Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League as a live service, and even IGN. I feel like IGN out of most review outlets is pretty soft. They're pretty chill. So for them to come out swinging out of the gate saying that they straight up don't like the game, Continuing. This team is single-handedly responsible for making some of the best combat I've ever experienced. The combat arenas in Arkham series also allowed you to tackle them with a stealth or brute force, adding further flavor and variety of Bruce Wayne's vigilantism. Unfortunately for Suicide Squad, once the fun story bits end, you're left with a much less inspired combat system and an open world that feels tedious task. Ugh. Yeah, it's not looking good. It's not looking good. They said that the combat was 3 things: gunplay, traversal, and melee. I watched the guy play. It's a bunch of clips cut up to make it look interesting. On IGN's video, they have a clip of a professional King Shark player. I have never looked at anything that seems so boring. The melee aspect of the game. The gunplay looks fine. It looks a little bit like Fortnite, kind of. You click R3 so you can knock the opponent up in the air, and then he just kaboom, shoots him. And it's just like, this is the inspired melee part that you're talking about. I do know that there's going to be a counter mechanic. I can guarantee you this much: it's going to be nowhere near as precise and as clean as the Arkham series. Well, we have this provided boss fight footage against the Flash. To reference, I just want to mention that I found this fight incredibly annoying. There's no indication where the Flash is. Most of the time, he's just the Scarlet Speedster, so he's just constantly zipping around the map. That didn't make the fight hard, it just made it frustrating. You get a handful of shots of him before the teleport to the next location, so you're just trying to chase him down or catch him standing in one spot long enough to get hits in before he does it all again. I hate, with a passion, boss fights that make you just chase the boss in the arena. However, I have to say, I did not see this. Someone, one of the journalists that was invited to the event, did find a way to slow down the Flash. It's a side quest that you have to complete prior to completing that mission, and I don't know if you get an equipment, maybe it's like a mod, maybe it's like the freeze mod. Maybe the Flash is an introductory boss to the world. Maybe he's like the first boss in the game. So they're probably going to use Flash to show you that if you mod your weapons correctly, you can freeze him and slow him down. The IGN player didn't do it, which leads me to 2 things. One, there's no indication that he can be slowed down, which isn't great. 2, the IGN player wasn't paying attention. It could be either or. In the open world, however, missions tend to favor many of the tried and true types, which makes them feel a bit like uninspired filler. Like, stop me if you've heard this one before. You defend a point from waves of enemies that spawn. Yup, sounds familiar to me. Now imagine that every time you defeat a handful of these enemies, you just stand around waiting with nothing to do. This was exactly what happened during one of those core story missions, and the padding feels completely unnecessary. When the next quest starts, I stood there while Amanda called my character on the comms and bantered with Poison Ivy before sending me back to the other end of the map to save a civilian in a flying bus looking straight out of Fortnite. Games that do this can straight up go. Games that will not give you the location of where you have to go next. And the other characters are just sitting there talking. And you're not letting me move, or you're not telling me where I have to go. And then I find out that the distance I had to travel would have been more than enough for me to listen to your entire message. Just give me the location. Don't make me sit around waiting, because I can't really explore, right? Because I might end up going in the incorrect direction, and nobody wants that. So give me the location, pinpoint the area, tell me where I can go, and then talk at the same time. And when I get to the location, just don't let me start the mission until the dialogue is done. Boom, just reverse it. The potential saving grace for all of my gripes could be that the whole combat system comes together a lot better when you get to sit down and actually make a build, which we didn't have a chance to do right away at the preview event. For some context, we started out playing through the same tutorial from the beta and picking a character, Deadshot in my case. After that, we jumped into Chapter 3 where I tried out Shark. What I didn't realize was that Chapter 3 gives you a complete build control, and having played on a different class, it took me a bit of a session to get warmed up to the new movement mechanics Shark has compared to Deadshot. Now, I don't have an issue with the game's mechanics becoming more developed once you have a full build. However, it depends how much time it takes me to get to that build. I'm not gonna dump 30 hours in a game where it starts getting good at 30 hours. Make the game interesting enough for me to want to get to the full build. I've seen some clips of the game and it looks very Borderlands-esque, which I'm very, very happy about. However, I didn't have an issue with Borderlands. I got into that game so fast, fun throughout the entirety of it, especially when you get to level, I think it was 60 or 80 the last level. Like, once you get to those levels, it feels amazing. But remember, the journey to max level was great as well. I don't want to get to max level if playing at level 1 is boring. I left the preview event less optimistic than when I came. Wow. To give you a taste of just what you're looking at, there are weapon afflictions attached ailment affect weapons like Deep Freeze that does cold damage for a period of time. Pen will let you craft new weapons, shield mods, traversal mods, or grenades. And there are some interesting guns here, like Bugs a Poppin' that will not do any damage to a Terminaut, but will slow down every enemy within 10 meters. Each character also has a skill tree they can upgrade. Very much like Borderlands. Check it out if you can. And all of that on top of weapons and mods that work together to give you a passive buff when you pair, say, 2 Gizmo gear pieces together to do more burning damage, but with the trade-off that grenades do 50% less damage, but have a 100% chance to burn all enemies hit. Okay, so it does seem like there's quite a bit of build variety, but again, how long is it going to take me there, and how much fun is it going to be for me to get there? I've been really hard on Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, and believe me, I really want to be wrong about it. That's exactly how I felt about Anthem. Not only is Rocksteady one of my favorite developers, but this genre is one I've spent far too much time in across Destiny, Anthem, and yes, even Marvel's Avengers. Guilty of that myself, but while there's a story here that makes me wonder where the heck all of this is going, I left the preview even less optimistic than when I came in. Here's hoping to Suicide Squad wins me back when it releases on February 2nd. I don't think it's gonna, buddy. I unfortunately don't think Suicide Squad is going to win a lot of people over. I'm fairly certain that with all of the reviews that came out, it's going to lose a lot of sales. I'm still going to be checking it out. However, I will be waiting for a release and reviews to come out before I buy it myself. I recommend you guys do the same. That's going to be it for today's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, be sure to like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. And if you don't, well, remember, at the end of the day, I'm just some guy on the internet, and I'll see you next time. Peace.